Hey, I wanted to let you know real quick that Friday Night Arcade shirts are available now on Amazon.com in all sorts of varieties. Help support your favorite D-list YouTube channel and pick up one today through the link in the description. And thank you so much for watching. Happy Avengers Week, everyone! Let's take a closer look at Spider-Man vs. the Kingpin on this edition of Friday Night Arcade.
Young man, I don't know what I would have done without you, but you really shouldn't run around in public dressed like that.
Yes, ma'am. I'll keep it in mind.
Goodbye, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man vs. the Kingpin was originally released in 1990 for the Sega Master System and later ported to the Genesis and Game Gear. Eventually in 1993 it was ported over to Sega CD, and this has to be the definitive version. It's not just a port they slapped together, but a full-on remix of the game with updated graphics, animated cutscenes with voiceovers, and a pretty epic soundtrack. I mean, just listen. This was the 80s hair band Spider-Man song you didn't even know you wanted.
Now it's swing time, flying for justice. Swing time, take no prisoners. Swing time, bring on the big guns. Swing time, not in trouble.
I could just end the video there and let this whole song play out, but there's an actual game here too. So Spider-Man saves an old lady from a purse snatcher, and later he's chilling on the couch with MJ when Kingpin comes on the news. Kingpin lies and tells everyone that Spider-Man has planted a bomb somewhere in the city, and if they don't find it in 24 hours, the whole city is gonna explode.
He has planted a bomb that will explode in exactly 24 hours, destroying the entire city.
I certainly never did that.
I am offering a reward of $500,000 for Spider-Man's capture, in hopes that he can be forced to reveal the location of the bomb before it is too late.
Spider-Man sets off to save the day, but since Kingpin lied to everyone, now the cops are after Spidey too.
Don't worry about that, Mary Jane. The police know I'm on their side.
I want an all-point bulletin issued for the arrest of Spider-Man.
Consider it done, sir.
It turns into a bit of an open world game from here. Spidey has to go around the city beating up criminals and searching for clues regarding the location of the bomb. You can pick and choose where you want to go, and once you enter an area, it turns into a side-scrolling platformer, but it's a bit more in-depth than that. The levels are all kinda different and unique, from cityscapes to factories, warehouses, caves, and even moving trains. Spider-Man doesn't just run and jump either, he can do all the things a spider can. Climb, swing, and even sling webs to disable the bad guys. Rather than just being straightforward side-scrolling, the levels all incorporate some of Spidey's different movements, such as climbing up walls and on the ceiling. They're very creative and well done, and they all look really good. As you begin to work your way through the levels, boss levels start to open up on the map. Pretty much any Spider-Man villain you want is here. Electro, Doc Ock, Sandman, Hobgoblin, they all eventually show up. My only gripe with this game is the bosses are insanely difficult. Electro took me forever to beat. The stage is comprised of all of these rooftops and platforms, and no matter where you move, Electro gets just far enough out of range of your web, but he can pretty much hit you wherever. On top of that, you've got electric bats flying around, and somewhere up above there's an electric bird constantly taking a dump on your head. The kill zones are ridiculous here. Even on easy mode, this was a chore. Or maybe I'm just too old.
Well, Electro, it looks like your circuit has come up a little short. And I thought you were such a live wire.
I will say though that if you can master this flying kick maneuver while you're swinging on your web, you can do some pretty significant damage. I was able to beat Vulture in 3 hits this way, so it's not all bad. Also, if you die, you have to fight your way through the whole boss stage again, which can get a little tedious because none of the enemies die with 1 hit. You pretty much have to disable them with your web first, then punch them 3 or 4 times to knock them out. Furthermore, underscoring all of this is the 24-hour clock, which for the player seems to pass in minutes. So yeah, you actually do have to go all over the map, find all the clues, defeat all the bosses, and get all the keys, then defeat Kingpin and save Mary Jane, all before the 24-hour clock goes off. Each time you die, a big chunk of the clock falls off too. If the clock runs out before you finish the game, the nuke goes off and everybody in the city dies. Game over. Way to go, moron. Okay, so the good news is the game has a pretty easy password system, and anytime you enter a password, the clock resets itself. So if you find yourself getting low on time, you could theoretically just reset the game, re-enter your password, and it'll wind the clock back a little bit. And even though the bosses are frustratingly difficult, it's fun to see the story progress, and the artwork and voiceovers are like a comic book come to life. There's also a couple different endings, and you may end up taking a slightly different path each time you play, so there's incentive to play it all over again. Overall, this game is definitely worth a look today, and I especially recommend the Sega CD version if you can find it. What do you think? Did you play this on any of the Sega consoles? What's your favorite Spider-Man or Marvel game? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time on Friday Night Arcade.
Yeah.